No, we have.
There's more.
Can you
Let's see.
hear me? Can you hear me?
We
I
can hear
can.
you.
Yes.
I have a song that that I did with my nieces. They're all musicians. They're singing it, and I did all of the music. But what the song is about, they had wrote it for. You remember a fighter, Chris? I'm a fighter. But they had wrote it for my mother when she was going through her cancer. She eventually died, what, maybe 2 years ago from it. And the song is called "I'm a Fighter." And I think it's a good song. I want to play it, but I'll play the actual track. It never got released, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear the lyrics. But it's when I did it, it was hard for me to record it, the music, and hear them sing, because their vocals are just great, and you can hear and feel their emotion in the song when they're singing it, because they were singing it about their grandmother, which is our mother. About how she was a fighter, because she fought what, 10, 12 years, she just fought. It just kept coming, and she would just fight it, and we watched her, and she just, do I have the numbers right, Chris?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know. I was going to ask you, what kind of cancer did she have, Michael? Was it breast cancer as well?
Started with lung cancer. And I think she ended up getting breast cancer along the way. Was it, Chris?
Well, I have a different take on it. But,
yeah. Go ahead, because you were more into the clinical side of it than I was. So
yeah, we've lost 4 people to cancer. My dad, we lost him. It was lung cancer in 2012. It was 2013.
Yeah,
he was a smoker. 13. He was a heavy smoker.
Yeah.
He was a Pall Mall smoker back in the day, yo. They didn't know anything about it. Then we ride in that car in the wintertime with the windows rolled up, smoking Pall Mall. I'm surprised we don't have it right now. I never smoked. I never lost him. And Michael actually took care of him. Took him to all his treatments, and he loved Mike for that. He didn't like us he didn't like that. I think I was in California. I know I was.
Yeah.
Mike was his favorite son, but
it started that way.
I know it ended up, but God has a way of his story will be done, and his will be done, and it's going to hook or crook. And so he fought it. My dad was he was late 70s when he passed, and he did the treatments and he didn't do the treatments. He was still smoking all the way out, probably towards the end. But my point is, shortly after that, my mom probably got sick before him. It was small cell lung cancer. I can't remember the exact type.
Well, he didn't do the chemotherapy.
My dad, he did it. He actually had part of his lung removed.
Yeah.
He did chemo and probably radiation and some medication, but
yeah, he did. Yeah.
And I think he started out stage 2. He did it to a certain, but he's your typical black guy. He never really go to the doctor, and they fight everything. I think they were glad when he left the hospital. They were clapping when he left.
Yeah. Fighting everything.
He was driving people crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So my mom had it before.
Oh, wow.
Small cell. She was a smoker too. Pall Mall. They weren't together for a long time, but it was smoking. And I think she was diagnosed at stage 3, and that's when I first really started checking things out. And but she beat it. We had a big celebration of life party in Peoria. Everybody came, and we got pictures. It was awesome. My kids were babies then, so it was 11 years ago, and but so it was gone. And I was actually with her when they confirmed it, but it had metastasized to her breast at some point. It came back, the lung cancer, I guess, it metastasized to her breast, but she said, it's just minor, don't worry about it, it's outpatient surgery, so we didn't. They ended up taking out a couple nodes and different things. But fast forward to 2017, 18, my brother, who's a year older than me, who was 60 at the time, he was diagnosed with lung cancer. So that's when I got serious with it. Like, I'm online. I've got so many bookmarks. I'm looking at the organizations, the support groups, and all this kind of stuff. I'm looking at any treatment. I still didn't know then what I know now, because if I think right now it would have been a different outcome. He was diagnosed. It was stage 4 when he was diagnosed, but that doesn't matter with a lot of things. And he was in Peoria, and they have an excellent cancer center, world-renowned researchers. They're part of a lot of trials and all that kind of stuff, but he never got the treatment. But anyway, me and my mom are taking care of him. He had moved back home to Peoria, just transitioning from overseas. He got sick, diagnosed. I go back home to help with him, and I take my mom to a doctor's appointment at another hospital across the street, and we find out that her cancer's returned, lung cancer. So I'm dealing with my mother and my brother. I go from one hospital, pushing him in a wheelchair, to across the street at another hospital, and it was hard, and I tell you, it was only God that got me through, because I had to break down.
Well, and I am sorry to hear that. I didn't know that it was both parents,
my mother,
but I
my
will
brother,
say
and my father.
this, true God, because you have to have faith, but and you're a vegan.
That's when I started my vegan journey.
So
that's when I started. That changed a few things. I'm like, that's like something has to. That's when Mike stopped smoking, by the way.
Equation.
Yeah. I started changing several things in my life.
Okay.
And started researching heavy. When my mom got it, my brother lasted 6 weeks and 6 days, and I could start breaking down Bible if we want to get into some of the Bible numbers, but 6 is the number that, and 6 is the number of that. But 6 weeks and 6 days.
Right.
We never even got the treatment. At that point, my mom was going to treatment. We were going from Peoria to St. Louis because she had to get what was called
something.
What was it called? It was a radiation. She couldn't take chemo again, and they couldn't do a full radiation, so it was like a pinpoint radiation. They only had it in St. Louis and somewhere back east. So we took her, and I just didn't hear a lot about it. We were with her, and we just buried my brother and doing all this stuff. So it came back on Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving. That's when I got serious. We're at a hospital, and she went down to my sister's house for Thanksgiving. She started passing out in Peoria, falling and different things. I'm like, what's going on? You need to go to Atlanta. She went for Thanksgiving, and that's when they said they had returned. They found some cells in the fluids in her lung. Basically sent her home
in the lung.
Like that's what we could do. And I'm like, the devil is alive. She didn't look like she would make it another day. I could see her on a screen just like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it ain't going down like this. That's something I can do. And we got busy. My mom lasted 6 months, and it looked like she might have turned around. And at the end of it, I don't really believe it was cancer all the way that took her out. I believe half of it was a broken heart from burying her son while she was sick, and she had to do this. And he drove up the wall too, but y'all know how sons can be. But but we got down and we did what we had to do, and it looked like we were gonna beat it. But honestly, the last time she was checked, they were like, the cancer's actually receding. It's smaller. It's getting better, which I knew it was. But she basically died for failure to thrive. She wouldn't eat anymore. She was almost 80. So that's the gist of it, but I could get much deeper, but I'm not going to bore you guys. But I mean, I totally support the movement. I've lost, and this is where it gets crazy. My sister was taking care of my mom at her house in Atlanta downstairs. She found out between my brother. They knew when we buried my brother that her husband had colon cancer, but they wouldn't tell me. He died in her house, in her arms. A few days later, my mom died, and she was taking care of both of them. This was 1.5 years ago. So I'm very sympathetic, and I really understand. One of the things that, who was it? Claire? I can't remember who it was, but they said, get checked up. I believe had the men, the black men especially, we have a version of going to doctors, had they got their yearly physicals, had they had their colonoscopies, had they had their chest scans, and all the things, I believe those 3 men would probably still be here. But that's just something, I mean, I just got to tell it like it is. But it was a tough period, but I definitely support. I believe I could have helped my brother-in-law. I really believe natural, organic way. That's my thing. And I understand that there's some serious research going on with chemotherapy, and a lot of drugs, a lot of trials that's going on. But, there's no doubt in my mind that the care that we gave my mom extended her life. There's no doubt. No doubt. And she looked beautiful. We took good care of her. She looked beautiful. Yeah. So
that's a beautiful thing.
And Christopher, I'm feeling everything that you're saying.
Put me up so I can see them on the screen, Jewel. Okay, go ahead.
I'm feeling everything that you're saying, Christopher, and because the reason why I volunteer for the Orally Foundation is because my sister also passed away of lung cancer in 2016. And it was very, very hard for me being the older sister and always feeling like you have to protect your younger sister.
I'm my brother's keeper. That's what I have.
And I could not protect her from this. And so, that's another area of support that we need, the impact on the people, the family members that it has when their family members have cancer. Because I know I still feel responsible because I could not help my sister, and she just gave up. She said, I don't want to go through this anymore. I'm tired. I'm done. And so Pam and Tracy, that's another area of support that we need for the family members who are going through the emotional sting of this happening to them.
Right. And there's support groups out there, but probably not enough, and probably definitely not enough in the Black community, because we don't really treat mental health, which is part of your mental health, as a thing in the Black community. Is stigmatized. Yeah. When my brother passed, I was clinically depressed. There's no doubt about it. I lost weight. I would sit around in the room and I would think, okay, when am I going to be happy? Okay, it's been a week. Am I going to be happy tomorrow? Okay, it's been 2 weeks. It's been a month. Is today the day I'm going to wake up? Can I be happy today? And then it would be, okay, it's 2 months. I'm happy for 5 minutes out today. And 98% of the time I think about what happened. Yeah. But it was hard. It was hard. Yeah. So there's no doubt I could have used. And my wife came to me. She basically yelled at me, like, hey, you need to eat. Then it was like, it just kind of snapped me out of it. She was like, look, do you need counseling? Do you need counseling? I'm like, I probably do, but I'm good at this point. So.
Well, the good news is there is a better treatment out there for some cancers through the Orally Smith Cancer Foundation. She already has this development. It's just sitting on the shelf waiting for her to raise funding. And she doesn't want to go the corporate route because you know what happens when you take your intellectual talent the corporate route. They end up owning it, and it's no longer affordable and accessible to the many people who need it in our community. And that's what she aims to do, bring this to clinical trials so that it's affordable in our community. Not only our community, but everywhere, because I think I heard either Pam or Tracy say, cancer treatment is expensive. And it's expensive, and who has that kind of money? I personally feel a lot of people succumb to it because they can't afford the treatment. They can't afford to drive to another state to get treated. But The good news is she has this technology. It is already developed. She doesn't need to research it. She doesn't need to prove it. It's already been proven to work in mice in 15 days. So all she needs is funding to get to that first round of clinical trials. And if I could, Jewel, I think I have the video up. I could show the video now.
Okay, I'm trying to see. Go ahead and put it on. That would
Okay.
be fine with me. And let's
Okay.
see if it works.
I
Okay.
think I got it
So
this time, Jewel. I got
say it
it.
again.
I said I got it. Just say yes, I see it when it starts.
Yes, I see it.
Physicist and epitome of black girl magic. So my biological mother passed when I was 18 months. My aunt Orly and my uncle Generally, they took me in as if I were one of their own. And the day after graduation, Auntie announced that she had what she called woman's cancer. And I saw firsthand how cancer ravaged her body. 3 months after Auntie passed, my uncle was diagnosed with cancer. I saw how cancer treatments ravaged his body. So that was my inspiration to develop a cancer treatment that didn't have the devastating side effects of chemotherapy and radiation. The exciting breakthrough for me initially was showing that after one single 10-minute treatment, that I could completely eliminate a tumor in a laboratory mouse. This to me was huge. Within 12 to 24 months, we can start human trials with the first $10 million. If my aunt and uncle were here today, I would want to say thank you for the sacrifices that they made. I am Dr. Hadia Nicole Green, and you are not in this fight alone.
Yeah.
Nicole Green. More black women die from cancer than any other race. 15 years ago, I lost the only mom I knew to cancer. Since then, I've dedicated my life to this cause so we can stop losing. In addition to saying thank you, BET, I'm saying no more mothers, no more big mamas, and no more aunties. In 2016, BET ran a headline which stated, I was our best hope for curing cancer. Well, I have good news. I've developed a technology based on black girl magic and physics, not biology. And within 15 days, it completely eliminates tumors in laboratory mice after one single treatment. And it does it without any observable side effects. That's the power of black girl magic. With your support of my nonprofit, the Orally Smith Cancer Research Foundation, we can keep this treatment affordable and accessible. And we can also begin human trials within 1 year of reaching our first fundraising goal. How many people in this room have been impacted by cancer? Stand up. Stand up. I stand with you. Stand with me. And together, let's stand together in her fight against cancer. If you want to win, stand with me. Thank you.
We were just getting started here, ATL. When we return, the wall brings down the house, and later, Estelle takes the stage. Right here on BET Her Fights Breast Cancer.
So as the doctor
That was
said,
fine.
if we want to win, stand with her.
We want to win.
Oh, that
We
was
want to
powerful.
win. Yes.
I'm gonna
And
donate while I'm
that's
here
the
right
reason.
now. We're gonna
Go ahead, Chris. Go
it
ahead,
inspired
Chris.
me.
We need to.
Go to simplyjewel.com, Christopher.
Oh, well, now I'm confused. I thought it was orally text to.
Well, are you going to text or are you going to go to the website?
It don't matter which one you want me to do.
You can text. Text Aura 341.
Text.
Now I want to go to the
Show the
website.
people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go to
Well, you can do
simplyjewel.com.
that too.
That's a
You can
powerful
donate at
story.
both of them. How about that?
That's a powerful
Yeah,
story,
well,
and the power of the mind, and we're very creative people, and we're blessed people, and I applaud Orly for what she's doing and the work she's done. I've actually heard about her before you were involved with her. I saw her in passing in the news and what she was doing, and we need more pioneering spirits because God will bless. We never know where that next cure is coming from. It might not be, one of the lead developers on the vaccine coming out of Pfizer was a Black woman.
Yeah.
And so we have to learn to embrace this technology and this science. I know we're very quick to say, I don't want to take the vaccine, but I actually wanted to volunteer for it. I actually made the call. Can I volunteer? Because I didn't feel like we were being represented, people my age and my demographic. And I was going to do it. I had a talk with my wife. She's like, well, why do you want to do it? I told her, I don't feel like I'm being altruistic, but I think it needs to be done. But the thing that changed my mind was when they said, hey, you got to show up here every 2.5 weeks. You got to take your temperature every day. I'm like, well, I'm going to pass on it. I think we could. But, it's a lot of work when you volunteer for those trials, but we do need them, and we do need to be represented in all the trials. And I'm sure she's got a diverse population in her trial as well, Dr. Orly, what she's trying to do.
Yes, she does, and we need all the volunteers that we can get. Christopher, you sound like a great spokesperson. You have a story to tell, so I'd like to reach out to you as well.
Mm-hmm. I want to just an addendum to the story when I was telling you about my mom and the way my sister and I were really, once the hospital said there was nothing else they could do, then we did what we could do. But she was the third person in my family to have lung cancer, so I've seen it up close and personal. Yeah. What I can tell you, not one day did she have pain that she couldn't treat with an aspirin. No pain. She never needed oxygen, ever. And so there's power in what we can do if you don't give up and you believe in it.
Right.
Yep. That's right. You don't want to give up. And that's another thing. That's what Simply Jewel Health Services can help with. Help people who fail to thrive. Help those who need to learn how to make healthy choices so that they can navigate through all of the tension and the uncertainties. And for those that don't have support, there's a lot of people that don't have support, and that's what I do, the one-on-one, give healthy choices, help people who need encouragement. That's one thing about Simply Jewel Health Services, is that we try to encourage. So I still want to say I'm glad that you guys were strong and supported one another while you were going through your mom, Chris, your uncle, your mother. Seems like
brother-in-law.
Like brother-in-law.
Like he was like a brother to me. It's like a brother to me, and it was back to back to back.
Yeah, that's depressing, and it causes high anxiety.
Well,
so
in the midst of all of that, I lost my first child's mother to cancer, and my mother was there supporting her.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
first
wow.
child's mother, second child's mother died a month after her.
That's a lot, and it's important. Right. That's why it's important. That's
Absolutely.
go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was a smoker as well. The day that they called, that I was talking to my mother, and she told me that my older brother had stage 4 lung cancer. I never touched another cigarette after that moment. It was done. And that was what,
2
4
years
years,
ago. Oh no.
about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 years in February, yeah.
Never touched another cigarette. From that moment, it was like, what? Okay, done. Threw the pack away. You know, there was so much of that going on, so much cancer around me. It was like, and then I went and got everything checked, and everything looked good. I was like, okay, we're gonna move forward. So I want to play this song for you.
That's a blessing.
This
Yes.
is
That's good.
Tell me if you can hear the words to this.
Okay, let me bring some people on.
Okay.
I don't know. My can listen while you play.
Yeah. What?
Uh-uh.
What'd you say? This was one that my nieces wrote when my mother was really fighting cancer. They wrote it for that situation. It's called "I'm a Fighter."
Okay, we're bringing on Lais, who is the coordinator. Mike is getting ready to play something, Lais, so stand by. We just wanted to bring you on the panel.
You can
Okay.
hear it, give me the thumbs up or something.
Back against the wall, I'm a quitter. Here stands strong, because I felt good. All my dreams, nothing can break me now. I'm standing tall. I face the test, but I keep on fighting back. And I will never fall. I'm a fighter. Hold me down, keep me quiet. I'ma make it loud. Don't shut me up. I got something to say. These words are feeling like I'm going another day. Don't you get it? So don't fight it. Don't you quit it? So give up. Say no. I'm a fighter. Hold me down, keep me quiet. I'ma make
Is
it
that
loud.
Michael?
I think that's the song that he was trying to play for us. Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like a very, very inspirational song.
That song, I wrote the music and produced that song. I cry every time I hear it. It gets me every single time.
It's
When she
inspirational.
says that,
I think
whoa, it gets me every time. And I know what the song is about, you know. And when you can feel that, I wish y'all could be here because you're not really getting the full effect.
Right.
I'll send it to you. It's a beautiful
yes, please do. But wait a minute, Michael. You know, I committed myself to helping raise money for the Orally Cancer Research Foundation. So I committed myself to do a music-thon, and it was so much fun. They wanted to do another. But the third one is in the spring, and it's going to be a 5K. So I'm thinking that should be the theme song for the 5K.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that would be great.
Absolutely. And you got it. You got it. That's why I would remember you asked me about that yesterday, and I kind of kept it quiet. I said I got one. That's what I was talking about.
That sounds like a winner right there.
Yeah. I'm a fighter.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You should see. You should see if you can get my nieces on the line because they know a lot of people too.
Oh yeah, we'll get them on here.
Okay,
we'll get them.
We'll do that.
In Atlanta.
And they'll get on here.
I want to